Greetings, children of Gaia. Welcome to Let's Play Aurora 4X, and I am Wolf Person. I will be your guide. This is going to be a much slower. I haven't abandoned my previous playthrough, but what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start a much slower game. I'm actually going to try and teach people how to play this. So, Aurora is one of the most intimidating video games out there. Dwarf Fortress, I would argue, is more complicated, but there's a lot of people who play Dwarf Fortress, so it's much easier to learn. So, okay, first what I'm doing here, start a new game. Max number of systems. I normally set this to 200. That's because I'm used to playing on a potato. So I'm going to go to 300 this time. Leave that alone. Leave that difficulty. I'm going to leave that to normal. I could jack that up, but again, we want to get as far into the game as I can before I run into trouble. Comments. Sometimes you'll put 2. What this does is this make sure this will add extra comments into star systems, so you'll have more minerals overall. Very tempting, but we're going to leave that. Empire title. We are the United Union of Unity. Spell check is not your friend. United Union of Unity. We're the Union. Species name. We're the magical special snowflakes. Government type, player race. Again, because we are very special. Main empire theme. Tokens tempting. Yeah, that makes sense. Commander names. Gonna leave them English because I need to be able to pronounce them. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that'll work. What is that? Okay. Okay, conventional start. This dramatically slows down the game, but everything you accomplish makes you feel like a space emperor. Starting, okay. Some people recommend 5. I always do 6, just so you don't get boxed in. So, population 5 million, 500 million. If you want a faster game, you can crank that up. Usually I double that, but okay. 13, 5 research. Missile bases. Usually turn them off. They were bugged in earlier versions, so that was kind of an automatic thing. We'll just go ahead and build our own missile bases later. Precursors, leave that on. Invaders, leave that off, especially in a conventional start. And Star Swarm, I don't like, but I'm going to leave on for this playthrough. And non-player races, going to go and add 1, just because I have invaders off and I want to have some kind of a challenge. Okay, realistic commander promotions, leave that on. Commander, that's okay. What this does, this adds like a political element to the promotion system. Inexperienced fleet penalties. Now, I usually play with this off to speed up the game. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it in. This means that you will have to train your fleets. In a faster paced game with invaders on, I would leave that. I do want to simplify some things. Real star systems. If you're a space nerd, leave this on. I usually leave it off. What this does is that when it generates a star system, it'll use the actual star data to set the size of the sun. So again, if you're an astronomy nerd, leave that on. It'll make you very happy. Orbital motion. Okay, orbital motion for asteroids. Leave that off unless you have an absolute beast of a computer. Orbital motion, planets and moons. It does affect very low-tech games. I usually just leave it off because it can kind of glitch if you turn it off and on. So I'm gonna leave that on. It might slow things down. If it doesn't, well, it's gonna be a very slow game anyway. Okay, so let's get started. Could have done this off screen. Generating a system does take, should take more than a minute or so. But anyway, let's get them. Go ahead, put the background music on. This is the branded Derek Fleischer. It's the closest thing I have to hippie music, so I will put a link in the description. These guys do make a lot of content, so if you like the music, they have lots of albums to buy. So I am going to start looking around for other music to use, but in the meantime, so idea for this playthrough again. I'm going to, for a conventional start, I'm going to be very slow. I'm going to explain as much as I can, just to get people into the game. The only thing we are going to be terraformer heavy though. I'm going to make that decision. This is kind of the opposite of what I was doing with the original game. Was the okay, so we are here. 300 systems is the one. Check that and select. Okay. Empires, system maps. Welcome to space. 90% of the game will be done on the screen. Okay, so what's the first thing you do? I like to turn off system bodies, asteroids, so you get a clearer look of solar system. Zoom in, go to messages, click the fault. You can adjust this later, but this just makes things a lot easier to read. So, let's start by taking a look at what did we get. Okay. 1 military academy, 1 tracking station. Maintenance facilities, that's 5. See there. 1,000 conventional industry. So that's 1 construction, 1 mining, and I think very small amount of fuel production. So this represents just basic normal industry for the tech. Go over to research. What do we get for scientists? Power and propulsion guy. That's going to be very useful. Right now, you need to go into construction and production. That's Newtonian technology. This is the first tech you need to get because this unlocks pretty much the rest of the technologies. So pick the guy with highest bonus. If I had a construction production guy, I would be using him. So this is going to take about 3-4 years in game. So what can we build in the meantime? Start with some military academy. You actually want to have about 2 or 3 of these as soon as you can. And this gives our construction people something to do. Mineral wise, good duranium, neutronium, thorium, decent uranium. Corundum's a little low. Galisite is good. We'll get a quick, but we'll run out quickly. So, okay, duranium is just basically your steel. It's your main construction material. Virtually everything in the game needs duranium. You can run out of it, and duranium crunches are very common if you don't get enough mines out. Neutronium is used for shipyards, armor, a couple of other things. You rarely get into real trouble with that. Corbomite is used for mining, financial centers, shields, a couple of other things. Again, it's not a mineral you usually run out of. Titanium is used for missiles and missile-related things. Boronite is used for life support and terraforming. We are going to be doing a lot of terraforming in this playthrough, and we do have a low accessibility, so okay. Mercasium, which we do have a small amount, low accessibility. This is used mostly for research labs, so that could be an issue. Baronite is used in construction, a couple other things. Thorium is your fuel. It gets refined in the fuel. So if you run out of thorium, you can be in serious trouble. Usually not a problem, but okay. Iridium is mostly for sensors. So I do put a lot of radars on my ship. A ship's probably more than you do need in an alpha min-max sense. Corundium is for mines. This is one of the more important minerals in the game. So you do need, if you run on the corundium and you can't build more mines, you are in serious trouble. Gallicite is used mostly for engines. In my Crusader States of Terra playthrough, I did not react. I got into a Gallicite shortage, and I didn't react hard enough to it. So usually that's not something that happens. Usually your main concern is corundium and uranium. So if you have both those minerals, you can make more mines, and that usually gets you out of the situation. So we go into here is to officers, and Earth needs a governor. Do we want? We need A2, so it needs to be at least rank 2. So what we really need right now is we need more population. Mining is good, but we really need a population bonus. Population growth 5%. That's, and you're the highest ranked guy, so I guess yeah. Sign now. Neat thing here about Aurora is that a lot of little random things get, like personality traits for Joshua Kennedy here. It's passionate and inconsiderate. You can remove, you can add new, if you just want to do like kind of a role-playing thing. Now, you can also grant titles. So Earth Brother. Good enough. Earth Speaker, that's better. Yeah. Flavor there. You can do award medals and all this. Create medal. I'll go ahead and do that now. Promotion value, it's just sets goes from like 1 to 100. Okay. And just it takes you to a folder here and just kind of select the image. I don't really know what these. That looks interesting, so I'll do that. Oh. Go ahead and put that in. Okay. So now, the award medals. You can click on the guy. Whatever. We'll deal with that later when our people have actually accomplished things. Okay. You see, planetary governor, speaker for Gaia. So we are getting these bonuses. Now, there's not really anything else we can do at this point. So just go advance time 1 month. There is an auto turn function. I don't necessarily trust it. Check our events, nothing. Go ahead, turn on this display here. So events will show up in the bottom here. Not everything will show up, so you do want to check every now and then. New scientist, sensors, fire controls, officer health. Okay. Actually, I just forgot something here. We do go to our shipyard. We're gonna want to add some capacity. 1,000 tons. Might as well get that going. Thorium production. Because, again, this is very common in the early game situation. Just kind of turn off the fuel. So you don't use that much fuel early on. So we can just kind of let it. Okay, we're not really expecting anything to happen here. I don't trust the auto turn button. It's too easy to get ahead of yourself. So you can see the planetary motion. So, every 5 days, the game will do a production cycle and check all the orbital mechanics. So it's not really every, but if a time increment is gone and it's been more than 5 days, it'll do that production cycle. So you can drive yourself nuts trying to min-max the those 5-day cycles. So I don't bother. You'll see some guys actually just really timing it. That just seems a little ridiculous to me. Power and propulsion, that's nice. You do want a good spread of scientists. Not getting that construction guy early is gonna slow us down, but we got sensors, we got propulsion. Logistics is going compound. Well, everything I can show. System view. It does take a little while when you load it up because the game has to check. Oh, so this is the one feature of the game that does not run on Windows XP. You can do pretty much anything else in the game except this one screen. So, but I really miss Windows XP. I'd go back in a heartbeat because at least when something broke, I knew how to fix it. Okay, so Mercury, Venus, go over here at the body type, population, colony cost, which is how much infrastructure you need to keep people alive, surface temperature, gravity, orbital distance, all these diameter, which gives when you find a new system, it'll give you a chance to get things in perspective here. So looking over the. Got the inner system here, Luna, which, it's the moon, Mars, decent colonies situations. You always want to put colonies on Luna and Mars. Just even if there's no minerals, it does kickstart your civilian economy. Even if you're doing a high-tech, fast-paced game, you still want to get at least one of those planets colonized before you expand. We've got the big Jovian moons here, 4 of them. Colony cost 5.75. These planets are barely in the terraformable range. You can get them to Earth-like. It takes a lot of time, a lot of resources. But if there's minerals on them, it is worth colonizing. Outside of the Sol system, anything over 5, I usually just turn into an auto mine colony. Okay, then we got Titan, 7. So. Again, and this is at the very edge of what you can terraform. So it can be done. And usually just turn it into an auto mine site. You got Neptune, Pluto. Then you got all these little minor Kuiper belt things. So they have done a really tremendous job of getting. just the ridiculous level of detail in the solar system, which shows you just how complicated our solar system actually is. Almost done. Other thing, asteroids. Remember you want to keep in when you find a new star system, you want to always check see how many asteroids there are. Okay. Construction done. Military academy. Okay, what is the situation here? November. What a year. Go ahead and start at our military academy. Okay, what the military academies do is they give you each level gives you 5 officers per year. Those include your governors, your military officers, and more importantly, early game, it's your scientists. You want to get a good spread of scientists early on. Naval ranks. Seeker, Adept, Teacher, Gami. Okay. Leave automated assignments off in early game, so you don't lose your officers. But, wait. Okay, 1,000 tons. That's probably about as big as we need early game, so I'm gonna leave that for now. Do you want to kind of shepherd our resources here? We are starting to get stockpiles. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and turn fuel refining back on. Just start and stop. So what it does, it'll take the thorium here and it'll turn into fuel. As you can see, we're use 1,000 a year. So, and there's not enough. We don't really have that much refining capacity at this point. Okay. Production overview. It's a very useful thing here. So, factory production, shipbuilding, research, imminent events. Oh, anything that's going to happen in, I think it's 2 months, will go on this list. So you do want to check this now and then just to remind yourself what's happening. So, got about a year till we hit Trans-Newtonian breakthrough. And then the game is then the game starts for real. Wait, what was that? What would be you? Listener update. I just saw something very interesting. No, I'm just seeing things. You can see that. You can see why the. I'll tell you to do the click default. You know, input production things in red, officers in that. Just makes things a lot quicker and faster to read. Trans-Newtonian technology. Okay. As you can see, everything has changed. We now have all of this. All the basic technology, all the basic construction has been unlocked. We have in. Okay. So what are we gonna do? First thing we need is a need to get our first geosurvey ship out. So I'm gonna go there, click matching scientist, get our first reactor tech, and put our propulsion guy in. We're just gonna rush that. That's the first step to a decent engines. You can do a geo-survey ship with just the conventional engines, but it's usually better just to wait a bit, get that first level of nuclear thermal tech. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pause this. I'm just gonna set it, you can pause it or you can just set it to 0. So, okay, how much conventional industry do we have? We have 1,000. So we really do need to get a construction lab. Okay, convert conventional industry to construction facilities. What this does is it turns one of those conventional industry points into a construction factory. So gonna do 660%. Next, we're gonna do mine. Gonna want to do 330. We might adjust this later. We want to get construction up as quickly as we can. We don't want to overstrip our mining. So I'm just gonna do 110. Okay, we don't need that much fuel early game. But if you get into the mid game and you haven't built up your fuel, you're gonna hurt it. You're gonna feel it. So, and right now it's gonna take 20 years to actually do this conversion. But thankfully, as our construction rating goes up, it's gonna speed up. So it's not actually gonna take it. It's not actually gonna take us 20 years. It's just gonna feel like 20 years. You can actually see this and just take a 5-day tick. Actually, you know what I could do? Because you have time control here, you can just go on. See, because we had as we got one factory done, it took down the. There's another one down, it jumped again. Just gonna keep doing that. So. This is also why I went so much into the factories instead of, you know. Also, I wanted to do 1,000 just to make sure that we used up all of our conventional industry instead of just kind of eyeballing it. Okay. That's one of the first things we need to do to actually get the game going. Research. So, about 9 months for research. And keep in mind the events here. This is why I'm not using idle turn. It's mostly just flavor text about your officers. It can matter, but you know. In a game with so much detail, you just need to know what's important and what's kind of fun. Research done. Okay. And a lot of people will try to time the research so they don't waste points. I just think that's kind of. You just kind of want to chill out here. So, nuclear thermal engine technology. I'm going to do the fuel consumption one just to get that have that into our engine. Okay, you don't. This is optional here. You could just rush straight for nuclear thermal. That's going to take us about 8 months. So production going. We got about 40 factories done. So, okay. Conventional industry. It's one construction, 1 mining, and fuel. Construction factory is 10 production. A mining is obviously 10 mines. Automated mine is 10 mining, but doesn't require laborers, and it's twice as expensive. So, auto mines are your friend unless you're in a very specific situation. But big fan of auto mines. And the decision to whether or not to use manned mining versus auto mining is going to depend on the planet and just how things go. check the 3 months production. So we're down to 12 years. So because we have production, probably gonna take about 5 years in game. Civilian Administrator Owen Potter has been killed in an accident. Assignment to death unassigned. Nothing suspicious there. Fuel consumption done. Okay. We're going to just focus the engine. This is going to take us about 1.5 years. It's fine. Our conversion process is about 10% of the way done. So, okay. Events. Yeah, almost 2 years there. Let's just go ahead and advance time. There's very little happening, so I can. Yeah. Both the only thing that would matter right now is if we got a new scientist. Oh. Okay, so yeah, we did get our officers purged anyway. Okay. My mistake. So, staff officers, command fleet headquarters. I'm gonna grab one of. Let's see who doesn't. You look better, so I'm just gonna assign you. Turn that on. What this is gonna do is gonna put just our staff, just captain or teacher is gonna put up our command, and then we're gonna these people are gonna these jobs are gonna get filled. So it's kind of a government work program. Not that they have any ships to command or anything, but yeah, you see the auto assigns there. Okay, did not have much, not much in the way of ground units there. I'll get to that later. We probably don't even need to think about ground units for at least 5-6 episodes. Okay, I'm just going to turn auto turns on here so you can see what happens. Just click that and it'll keep generating turns until something important happens. So if you didn't take a drink or anything, it's a way to do it. Okay. Research complete. Nuclear thermal technology here. Go here. We're going to go into design. This alert here will keep popping up until you get an active sensor strength detect. So it's more annoying than anything, but if you know what's happening, okay. It's kind of a thing. So, engine technology. Okay. There's a difference here between military and civilian engines. Commercial engines. Commercial engines do not need maintenance, and they're a lot cheaper. So, but engine power, 0.5 is the maximum, and size is 25. So, as long if an engine is larger than 25 hull size, and 0.5 multiplier or less, it counts as a commercial engine for maintenance purposes. This is going to be just a very basic thermal engine. I'll tag this burner and click create. Go into propulsion, click on that. It'll show up there. Put a scientist on it. Be done very quickly. A couple of months. Still a couple of techs we need to, but just getting the engines out of the way is gonna. Okay, there it is. Next thing we would want is a geological survey sensor. Click matching, switch over to the sensor and fire control guy. And do we have a defensive guy? I just want to check in the future. Doesn't look like we do. Okay, so we need the geological survey sensors. This lets us scan planets from orbit. Just want to check the numbers here. 5 years till conversion is done. And yeah, about 8 months. What event you can see there. If you don't want to waste research, you just try and time it. Yeah. Next thing we might want to do, grab uranium armor. This armor is kind of complicated in the game. What adding armor tech does, it just kind of lightens the armor, so you can either add more layers or have smaller, faster ships. So uranium, one guy. We don't have a specialist, so we're just going to use our best scientists. December. Okay, that's 6 months. Missile kinetics. Teacher has been killed in an accident. Assignment prior to death. Intelligence officer, fleet headquarters. I guess he must have found some emails. After health. Okay, that is interesting. Civilian administrator, speaker for Gaia, Joshua Kennedy, has been killed in an accident. Assignment prior to death, Governor of Earth. I guess that's what you get for being a candidate. Let's go find his replacement. A2. Now we can go in here. And actually, we don't need the. What we really need is the factory production bonus right now. So that would be you. You're only rank 1. You're only rank 1. So none of you guys. None of the. Okay, you're good enough. Okay. You've got a factory, a wealth, and a mining. So it's more important than the production bonus right now. Okay. Anyway, armor is done. So. Thing I'm gonna do. We don't have a product specialist now, but we need to get our research up. This is gonna take forever, but I think it's worth it. So do that for all. It's gonna be 4 in-game years, but that will increase our overall research rate, which will speed up everything else. And when this is done, we'll probably be in position to start early construction. Okay, we have all the technologies we need. I'm going to design a ship now, so you guys can see it. Okay, clicking new. Okay, Dolphin Dreaming class ship. This is going to be a geo survey ship. This is going to be absolute bare bones. I'm going to do 3 years duration. time. Okay. Now you can get away with one engine, one geosurvey sense, and this is actually a fairly decent ship. I'm going to double up. Not that much faster, but I'm going to add some... I want to give it... there we go. So it's got deployment time of 3 years. It's got 2 years of fuel. So this is probably overdoing it, but... And the lock design. Dolphin Dreaming. It's under our 4,000 ton building capacity. So, retool for class, Dolphin Dreaming. Be very careful when you click this. Later in the game, you can run into trouble here. Set activity, and because this is the first time the shipyard is being done, it will automatically do it. If there's was already an assigned class and you're switching, there would be a retooling time, which does cost uranium and neutronium. So we're going to go ahead, Dolphin Dreaming, Shipyard. And we're just going to add that task. It shows the cost of the ship here. Mostly uranium from the sensors. Building time, going to be about 2 years. So, anyway. I'm going to call that an episode here, and I should be back, because I'll be back very shortly. Wolf Person out.